I thought that it was really the little things that made this movie stand out.
If I hear that word one more time, though, that was driving me crazy at the end. I was like, stop saying the title of the movie.
It's the little things, Jimmy. It's the little things that rip you apart. It's the little things that get you caught.
What's up, YouTube? Driveby Movies here. You are watching
Fresh Releases.
My name is James.
My name's Blaze.
And today we're checking out the new HBO Max movie, The Little Things.
I want to nail the bastard, too. Difference is, I'm doing it for me. It's the little things, Jimmy. It's the little things that rip you apart. It's the little things that get you caught.
Kern County Deputy Sheriff Joe Deacon is sent to Los Angeles for what should have been a quick evidence gathering assignment, and instead he becomes embroiled in the search for a serial killer who is terrorizing the city. So this is a little bit of a surprise of a movie because it was released on HBO Max. I think originally this was probably meant to be for theaters, and maybe even this could have been for last year, towards the tail end of last year, kind of gearing up for possibly awards season. It has some heavy hitters in it like Jared Leto, Rami Malek, and Denzel Washington, of course. You know, the turmoil of last year kind of happened and still continuing on to this year with the pandemic and the kind of sad state of the movie theater and theatrical experience. So Warner Brothers decided to release this film on HBO Max for everyone to watch. I have to say I was kind of pleasantly surprised to just get this film on HBO Max, where this kind of would have been the type of movie, you know, a couple years ago to come to theaters and I would have had to pay to go and check it out before, you know, seeing it at the Academy Awards or the Oscars, if that was the case for this one. I still am not sure if that's really what was the case for this one. I'd love to know what you thought about that, though.
I definitely agree with it, like trying to be advertised as an Academy Award movie. The trailer definitely was Academy Award winner this, Academy Award winner this, Academy Award winner this. And, you know, we have 3 Academy Award winners within this movie. So kudos to that. Does it use them to their full potential? Some of them I'd say, but this script just feels very lackluster, dull, overly long, and it's been done before. This is a trailer that I ate up. I was super excited for. This is my favorite genre style movie, like dark thriller cop mysteries or detective mysteries where they're trying to solve murders and stuff. Some of my favorite movies of all time: Zodiac, Memories of Murder, Seven. And speaking of Seven, this film kind of beat for beat feels very similar to Seven. Tonally, I mean, it takes a while to get to like the creepy aspect of this movie. It's not really till when Jared Leto shows up where it starts to get a little bit more intense, and that takes an hour to do so. And then we're stuck with an hour and 15 minutes, and I was in for the ride for the first hour. I really enjoyed Denzel Washington, Rami Malek's kind of development of getting to know each other in that first hour. Then the second hour, Jared Leto comes in, and then for some reason the detectives become the very boring part. They do some cliche, dorky things. Jared Leto gives a fine performance. I thought he was great here, but just wasn't really all that much. I just didn't really care for it, unfortunately. I was really stoked for this movie, and it feels like a January release. I thought HBO Max was just releasing it because let's do one movie a month, but no, it just feels like a January release.
For me, it's kind of weird because I felt like this movie, there was a lot of things I didn't like about it watching it, in terms of either certain actors' performances, and then some kind of things that I actually really loved about the movie. I love the fact that recently on Netflix, sometimes all the media landscape kind of works into how much I do like a movie because of some of the other stuff that's out right now that gives me other context into the movie and into how, you know, they portray certain things in the film that might be more similar to real life events. So one of the things for me was that Night Stalker documentary. Absolutely hated watching that, but it was cool to get an inside kind of scope into that, where this film, you could see the similarities that they were trying to draw to cases that were similar to like this killer, or I guess he's not really a killer, but the Jared Leto character being like obsessed with serial killers and being obsessed with crime, similar to in that Night Stalker series, how they were talking about Richard Ramirez was one of those people that was obsessed with serial killers and, you know, ended up, you know, wearing those same shoes essentially. And how dark that was, I absolutely hated that. But I liked in this movie, you know, it's more fantasy, it's, you know, nonfiction, or it's fiction. So it's interesting to see them kind of utilize these things from popular culture and in the media landscape to kind of inform their characters in this film. And I thought that was really cool. But I think my favorite thing about the movie was just, for me, the ending and how the film in general wasn't so black and white. I feel like oftentimes I watch a lot of documentaries, especially ones about like I'll watch the true crime ones as well. So it's like you often learn how not everything is black and white, good versus evil. There's oftentimes some things that really have no explanation, you know, and this is just in life. I feel like there's oftentimes where things have no explanation, not specifically just in crime. But I like the idea of like basically Denzel's character really, this film not being about who the killer is and more being about the fact that the consequences in which Rami Malek's character is going to have for the rest of his life could be subsided by simply one small thing that Denzel does to kind of protect his sanity. I felt like that was just such a cool moment in the movie. It's obviously that kind of ending, so hopefully you went and watch the movie first, but it's that like really was the whole payoff for the film, I feel like. But I agree with you, there's a lot of things I didn't like about this movie. It is dull at times, and it's sad because like you have a lot of heavy hitter actors. I think Jared Leto did a really good job, but I feel like he almost put too much into it to where it felt like Rami Malek wasn't putting enough. And then Denzel, I'm never going to say a bad word about Denzel. So it just felt like, I felt like Rami Malek was just outclassed in this movie. And then maybe Jared Leto needed to take his foot off the gas a little bit because he was almost putting too much into the character where I felt like it was kind of unbelievable in a way.
Right, yeah. I'm not too familiar with Rami Malek's work. I mean, of course, he won Academy Award for Bohemian Rhapsody, which I have not seen, but I'm really only familiar with his performance in Short Term 12. But I remember he's the shy new guy in that movie who's very quiet. He's nervous about his like first day on the job, and then his not his last day, but you know, like the final shot also has him in it within the movie. But so like, was he doing like a voice character thing, or is that just his natural voice? Like I haven't seen Mr. Robot, so I can't comment on that either.
Yeah, 100%. This was definitely like a character voice that he was doing. That's not his natural voice.
It just came off a little weird to me at times. Like it sounds very detective-y and like you kind of expect it, but it's just weird. I always thought that's only like a Clint Eastwood kind of thing to do and stuff. And coincidentally, Clint Eastwood was like attached to direct this movie at one point a long time ago. The script is really old and it's crazy. I mentioned Seven, like I said, a lot of the beats are similar. But this movie was written way before, well, I don't know, but at least the script though was written before Seven actually came out. So I can't say if the script before Seven's older or if this script is older. Let us know in the comments if you know the answer to that. But yeah, like interesting to see that Clint Eastwood was attached to it once. And Jared Leto, like I agree, like he doesn't bring like a whole lot. He just played it like straight and really well. And I'm wondering, like, he's kind of like known as doing this like he's a very, what's the word? He's like always in character. He's a method actor. And so wonder if he did all the crazy things he was doing with Suicide Squad for this movie or whatever. And it's funny because he like gained weight for this movie also, but he still looks thin as hell. Like it obviously looks like, I don't think he gained weight properly because it didn't look natural. He's just like still got his skinny, lean look. But then like just out of nowhere, he's got a belly. So it looked like he was wearing like a bodysuit, but knowing him because he's a method actor, he probably just ate a bunch of very poor, bad food and it just made him get like a weird looking belly. So like that was one thing that was cracking me up. I was like, oh no, he just gained weight because he's like an actor and he just wanted to get in the role like that and stuff.
Yeah. I thought the same thing about him. I'm just like, what's going on here? What's going on, Jared? What you doing? What you doing, buddy? although there were things that I didn't like about the movie, for me it was like, this was one where I enjoyed it after the fact. It was not a movie that I was totally enjoying while sitting there watching it. I didn't love watching this movie, but after the fact, I'm thinking about it, I'm like, you know what, I actually really enjoyed the message that the film had, and like the small character interactions between these two detectives, and even Jared Leto's like criminal character, how he's just kind of a freak, but he's not. He says he's never killed anyone, but he keeps being creepy because maybe that's how close he can get to his heroes, which are serial killers, but he wouldn't hurt a fly or something. But yeah, you still always have this vibe with him where he's like, I've never killed anyone. You still have this vibe like, is he telling the truth? Like, can I trust this guy? It's so weird. Like, I don't know. I liked that he had such a weird character to play, but at the same time, it was like, it might have been a little bit too much being Jared Leto being such a method actor that he was just chewing the scenery in every scene. And I thought he really did a great job that I can't really see a lot of other people like playing as crazily. But then at the same time, with such reserved actors like Denzel and Rami Malek, I felt like he was a little bit out of place at the same time.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. It was definitely three actors doing their own thing. They definitely they're all like larger than like life kind of names at this point, just because they're all Academy Award winners within like the same period of time. It didn't feel like we had like Anthony Hopkins, Academy Award winner, and then like a newer Academy Award winner like Eddie Redmayne or something. It wasn't like those kind of mixes. These are all very current big name people that everyone's very familiar with. And it just felt like none of them sat together to talk about their roles. They all just kind of came in swinging like over like, yo, who's got control over this movie and stuff. It just felt that way. And like, I don't know if like maybe a more talented director, like nothing against John Lee Hancock, like he made this movie fine, but like just looking at his other work, like he makes fine movies, and that's what this movie was. He's done movies like The Blind Side and The Founder, very fine movies, but just like movies that I felt like could have been done better. They had the right story, but like just could have been done a little bit more stylized, a little bit more interesting. And like, I feel bad like kind of beating down the guy, but this movie was just missing a little bit of something. I'm going to kind of put it on the director for this one.
I think what you're looking for is something that a director that's more stylized. I think John Lee Hancock's style is more refined in a way where he almost doesn't have a style. It's just like his movies are all like to a certain caliber. They're not just, your average movie you'd see at the Cinemaplex, but yeah, he just doesn't have as a noticeable style. I guess that's the word you'd use there. But yeah, I enjoyed the movie. I thought that it was really the little things that made this movie stand out and
if I
make
hear
me
that
enjoy.
word one more time though, that was driving me crazy at the end. I was like, stop saying the title of the movie.
That was really though what made me enjoy the movie. I felt like you really hit the nail on the head with everyone having their own style, and they didn't talk about the movie before going into it, because I did really enjoy the scenes where they're all on screen, or even two of them are on screen, but anytime there was just one of them on screen, I was actually like enjoying those scenes. So I thought that's kind of funny, because that's totally what I feel like happened. Like, not everyone was on the same page. They're all really wanting to rein this film in their own way. So yeah, I have to say, like, if you guys want to check it out, it's available on HBO Max. This would be a movie that you might have seen in theaters, and you can save a couple bucks by just checking it out on HBO Max, of course. So if you are frugal, this is your time right now. Go check it out on HBO Max. It's available there, only available there. So later on, it'll be available on Amazon and video on demand services. So you can click the Amazon link in the description box below to support our show that way.
Yeah, after doing that, just leave a comment. Let us know what you thought about the movie. We definitely want to keep the conversation going about just those little things. Smash that like button. That really helps us out. And if you're new to us, subscribe and hit that notification bell to get all our latest updates.
Anyways, guys, tune in next week for our brand new fresh releases.